Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Sick Podcast, Talking Titans. Couple days, actually 2 days removed from our last horrendous loss, and some stuff's happened since then. We've had some interviews, some people talking, things of that nature. We're gonna get into all of it and more. So let's not waste any time. Jimmy, start us up.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Talking Titans.
Ward looking. Looping out of trouble. Trying to set up receivers. He's going to throw against his body to the end zone. Caught. Touchdown. Spectacular. Cam Ward, welcome to Nashville.
The sickest Tennessee Titans podcast. Sick! It's going to be sick.
Alrighty, once again, we are back to another edition of Sick Podcast, Talking Titans, joined always by my counterpart, Jarett. Jarett, how you doing today, brother?
Pretty good, man. Another week has gone by, and another week to look forward to another loss. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
We're gonna have ourselves a doozy this weekend. But before we move into this week's episode, we first want to give a special shout out to our great sponsors, starting with great folks over at DraftKings. Game on. Week 12 starts now, and every touchdown brings you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. This isn't just football. It's first down touchdowns, fireworks, anytime touchdown rushes, and live bets that ride every momentum shift. At DraftKings, every play is your next shot to win. New customers, this one's for you. Bet just $5 to get $300 in bonus bets instantly, plus grab over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Your season starts now. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code 6sports. That's code 6sports to get $300 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first bet of $5 or more. Plus, over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, fees may apply in Illinois. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday Ticket/terms. Limited time offer.
And for our next sponsor, Ultra. I've been hitting these guys up for 3 weeks now, and it's been great, honestly. Ultra is a clean, focused pouch for peak performers, entrepreneurs, first responders, athletes, anyone that needs clear brain fog quick. Nicotine-free, caffeine-free, and science-backed. It delivers smooth, reliable mental clarity in minutes. They come in 3 classic flavors: cool mint, wintergreen, and my personal favorite is tropical. Unlock your full potential at takeultra.com and use our code TITANS. Sal, I could not help myself when you were reading the DraftKings read just to look, because I haven't seen anything with spreads. You know, I like to look at like Wednesday or possibly Thursday.
Yeah.
And it's kind of laughable. We're plus 13.5 at home against the Seahawks. I mean,
Yeah.
ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. And God bless any of you. If anyone's listening and you put money on this game already, the 5% of the people that are taking the Titans money line, God bless.
I would never be that stupid.
God bless.
But they are going to push me to take the points. I'm telling you now.
Oh my God.
Because if they're giving you anything close to even money and they're giving you 2 touchdowns, I keep falling victim to believing that eventually Cam Ward is just going to play like he did in college for 4 quarters.
When he has receivers. He will.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I wholeheartedly believe that. And again, I keep going back to the fact that what bothers me the most about this is the organization's neglect for the fact that what they could be doing to Cam could have lasting effects long term. It almost appears as if that has no. I mean, again, like they didn't need to get rid of Tyler Lockett. They honestly didn't need to release Treylon Burks. These are guys making no fucking money. Okay, who cares what they ask you to do? You're giving them money every single fucking week. They could have kept these guys to give this kid a fighting chance. Because obviously, I would take Treylon Burks with no fucking ankles rather than Mason Kinsey after what you saw. So like, they're just not caring at all. And you better hope that this kid's got the mental capacity to just completely forget about this tragedy of a season and be able to start fresh if he's given the weapons to do it.
Well, listen, if anything suggests ladder, right? I hit on the six stack this past week. First, we're climbing a ladder from
Nope.
50 to 82, and I may even bring this out earlier. Now. I don't know, but if we're gonna go to bet number 2 and have it, Jimmy, can you throw that up there? Bet 280 to win what? 130, I believe. 140. The six stack. While I wait for that, yeah, 130. I may ladder Jackson Smith and Jigba here because this guy has gone over 80 yards in almost every single game.
He's
and
amazing.
I'm going to play a little over-under with you right now, Sal.
Okay.
Over-under 162 yards. That was his most so far this year, and that was against the Jaguars.
He's not doing over that this game.
You don't think so?
No. We're bad, but this defense is they don't give up a ton of huge plays. They don't. I mean, let's be honest.
Well,
we'll see.
They haven't had a receiver like him in a while, and he's been eating. I'm just looking at his stat charts: 100, 100, 80, 100, 100, like over 100 yards. The kid's eating, and he's gonna have a field day, in my opinion.
Yeah,
against us. So
I'll take him for 3 figures, but he ain't going. I don't think he's going for $170.
So look at that. That six stack to bet 2 probably by Friday. I'm gonna say.
Well, I'll eat crow if he does. And listen, who am I kidding? Anybody, you have a chance to break 100 yards against the Titans because they never fail to embarrass you when they give you when there's an opportunity to embarrass you, they will. So don't put it past anything. JSN could have 200 yards, but moving on. When we were live after the game, we didn't get a chance, obviously, to see some of the stuff that was said by press and players after the game. Jeff Simmons had some choice words, basically calling out more or less the offense. I think people are trying to spotlight that a little more than they need to. I don't think he was necessarily just taking a direct shot at the offense. He's just saying, I'm tired of sugarcoating. I'm fucking sick of how bad we're playing, and we're not playing complimentary football. I mean, they gave up the game-winning drive, the defense. So, I mean, they don't have too much room to talk.
Yeah.
But obviously, they played very well. They deserve to win that game. But, I don't know. I guess it's not going to change nothing, but it's good to see.
That's just like what a leader wants to talk about in football. He's standing up there. He's sick and tired of the bullshit. And especially now that you see that Friday, J.C. Latham, first-round pick, supposed to be, this all-pro tackle for us. Yeah, he didn't let up no pressures or sacks, against Hunter or Anderson Jr., but I don't care. A sack and a false start 4 times in practice on Friday, and then 4 times in a game. You have a dress rehearsal for your script on Friday for practice, and then you have a false start 4 times on Sunday. Those false starts, when you're pushing back a drive and you're killing a drive, is just as worse, in my opinion. So, I mean, this is year 2 for you, and you're a first overall pick. You're coming out of Alabama with Nick Saban as your coach at the time. How don't you have that mental stability at home where Jeffrey Simmons is saying, hey, get your shit together. And it carried over to Cam, and this is what he's talking about. We have to protect Cam Ward on Sundays going forward, and I'm glad somebody said it on the sidelines and how adamant it is. Yes, they gave up the game-winning drive, but in that point, yes, the offense has been struggling, but the defense has been kept us in games most of the time. But it's just constantly with the offense. So that's where Jeff's coming from.
Yeah,
and I wholeheartedly think that he has no problem saying what he said.
No, absolutely. And I think that with J.C. Latham, I really do. I think it's an effort problem with him. He's athletically as gifted as you can possibly be. And I think that his performance could come down to the lack of accountability there too. You know what I mean? Like, there's nobody in that organization that any of these players could look to and say, wow, that's so-and-so. Let's get our shit together. No, like, like Bo Hardigree, how can anybody take him seriously? He doesn't even look like a grown man. Like, he looks like a I'm sorry.
He looks like the K-ball guy.
I feel, I shouldn't be saying this. God forbid it gets back to him. No disrespect. Okay. I don't mean to be taking personal shots, but I'm sorry. My team is the worst team in not only in football and pro sports. So you know what? I don't give a fuck, actually. Bo Hardegree looks like he's 14 years old. How is anyone going to take him seriously as a play caller? I'm sorry. You could be saying in the comments, oh, it doesn't matter. That's the stupidest thing I ever heard, what a guy looks like. No, I don't think it really is. Okay. These players are getting into a fucking car accident every 30 seconds for an hour each week. Okay. They are going to need some motivation. They're going to need guys on that sideline that when they look to as leadership, as their higher ups, they're gonna want to be like, you know what, I'm fucking going to war for that fucking guy, and that's why there's so many ex-players. There's and be in the league for a long time, resumes matter because that's what happens when you have those guys with those reputations on your team. It brings the most out of you. Like I've said about the Tom Brady effect all the time. Just as good as Tom Brady is, the reason his teams won so fucking much because once he established himself as a top 3 quarterback for fucking a decade, you knew, hey, I'm going to play on this team with this guy. I I need to be on my shit or I'm not. I'm going to get fucking torched.
And that's what accountability is, and that's where it stems from. And like you said, Tom Brady has held players accountable in each of his Super Bowl runs and his whole entire career. And Cam Ward, you're going to start seeing that now, where he does. He holds people accountable. And like I said, it's his rookie year. He's got no weapons. But when you hear stuff like this, what we're about to play right now from Arden Key in a locker room, this is where I'm talking about, like where he talks about old heads. And you could throw us in this category, old heads, because Arden Key is around our age anyway. It's, in my opinion, it's just like how you talk to a generation, right? Our generation and the older generation versus this new generation and the up and coming college kids. Jimmy, play this clip from Arden Key from Sunday.
Talking to him one on one. I mean, it's one of those. It's kind of new, just in this new age. When I came in, they gonna talk to you, and you better get it right. Mm-hmm. Now you talk to them and huff puff, all that carrying on. So it's one of those things where you gotta learn how to talk to them. And I'm kind of getting better at it, just because I got kids. I don't talk to all my kids the same way. I talk to them different ways because they react to different ways in different situations. So it's one of those things where I just gotta talk and figure it out.
So that video from Sunday was brought to you by Teron Davenport, our good friend. But seriously, like he's saying, in a locker room, these guys are huffing and puffing. And I'm going to tell you, when I played football and when I played baseball, when I wrestled and played basketball, if I ever huffed and puffed at a coach, my ass will be sitting on the bench. You're held accountable. These guys don't want to hear, hey, you got to step it up. Hey, you can't be throwing fucking false starts on a Friday practice for a dress rehearsal for a game. I know. If you know, you got to learn from your mistakes. These guys are not learning from their mistakes, and the veterans are trying to hold them accountable. And it seems like they're not being held accountable because they're not listening per se. That's just that's a generation thing, in my opinion. Just like he said, you can't get through to these guys because they think of who they are. That's just my opinion on it. But it's hard to set a culture like that when people think that they can't accept talk, and they can't understand criticism. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying, but I'll be honest. I think the Arden Key comments are a cop out in my opinion. I think they don't have anybody that's a strong enough leader that's getting to these guys. I don't think it's because of the culture of the young talent in the league now. I really don't. No one's going to tell me that people are not listening to the advice of Myles Garrett if he comes up to you during practice and tells you how to do a swing move or how to do this or how to do that. I'd like to think, no one's going to be going up to Justin Jefferson or going to be laughing at anything Justin Jefferson tells you about how to play receiver. I just think that this team has a lot of average players, and how are you gonna humble somebody if they need it when you're nothing special? You know what I mean? I do think egos are big in the NFL, but that's easily fixable if you have an alpha. If you have an alpha, then egos go out the window. Like there's nobody's gonna go head to head ego with Tom Brady like in the broadcasting world already. He's the god. Yeah, people they part the Red Sea wherever he goes. So I mean, I understand why somebody would say that, but I don't think it's the truth. I think this team lacks talent. I think this team lacks people who've won consistently. Like, who are the winners on this team? Who are the guys? Nobody. Is there a single player on this team that's won a ring? That has a ring?
No, I think the deepest person in the on the team is honestly Jeffery Simmons. I think
Well, but
that was it.
yeah, I mean, none of these guys have even had really any success at the national level, National Football League level. So I mean, that's a glaring. I don't know how nobody talks about what a glaring issue that is. You don't have anybody that's won on your team. You got to have some people that know what it's like to be the best in the world in order to, maybe get the best out of some guys that don't seem to care as much, but have the talent to possibly get there too. I mean, there's no winners.
You actually had my gears turning right there. I'm trying to run through the offense and defense the whole time while you're talking, and
I mean, L'Jarius Sneed. That's it.
Yeah, but look what he's doing.
No, that's what I'm saying. You can't even count him. He doesn't even count.
That's really yeah. I mean, that's definitely a huge issue. When you're supposed to be bringing these guys in and no one's has done it before, where we did bring guys in previously where they've done it before, which helped us because you need that good mixture of veterans and young guys, to set a culture and a winning culture at that. But just moving on to what Cam Ward said, because it really stuck with me on Sunday at the podium, where I think it was TD or somebody else. I'm going to say just it was TD. He asked him about Peyton Manning, because Cam Ward has a really good relationship with Peyton Manning. He said, what has he told you, during the struggling time and yada, yada, yada. He said that he's going to stay the course. He still feels like he's getting better each week, which is a positive for us, in my opinion. And when you have one of the best quarterbacks in the league, to ever play the game, in your corner, where you can have a phone call or a conversation with him or say, hey, I know you struggled in your rookie year. How can I go about doing this, going forward into year two? Or how do I keep going forward during the season where there's constant struggles? For having that type of person in his ear, I think it's a positive for us too. And it's very optimistic, moving forward in the future too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to throw this out there too. And this isn't, I'm not trying to go crazy with this take, but I really think like they should look into bringing in some alumni, even if it's a small position next year. Like I want some alumni on the sideline, I mean, obviously Titans alumni would be ideal, just
Mr. Monday
because.
Night.
Yeah, I mean that would be. I brought him up. I mean, get Javon Curse in the fucking building as an assistant defensive end, whatever the. I mean, are you kidding me? You're not gonna feel good about that man teaching a couple things to some guys. So I just it doesn't need to be Titans alumni. Okay, it could be anybody. It could be anybody that who's played the game, and not only played the game high level, a guy that brings some juice. I don't want to use that word aura because it's so overused, but that's what I want to see, and I hope they insert some of that into the next regime, because they could not be lacking less motivation from their staff than they do. They have nobody that brings any energy to this team. So moving on from that, what else did we say we were going to touch on today? I'm drawing a blank. We talked about Cam. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can start off with that. That's going to be.
I mean, plain and simple. The Seahawks are playing, really good football. They had the Rams on the ropes where they should have won. I mean, they struggled really early this past week, but I was tuned into that game just because it was a great football game, and we're not used to watching great football at 1:00. So,
No.
I mean, it's going to be really tough to stop, obviously, Kenny Walker and Charbonnet and Sam Darnold playing at a high level. I want to say get after the quarterback, but we really seem to struggle at that. And like I said in the beginning of the podcast, I think this is JSN. I think he's just going to absolutely eat this week, and I'm going to ladder him. He's not going to be part of he may be part of the bet too on the 6-stack, but I'm going to ladder him individual. I'm going to go, 40, 50, 60, 70, all the way up. And because I think he's just going to absolutely eat, and I think he's going to go over that 160 mark that he had against the Jaguars, because I think this is going to be, obviously, anybody that plays the Tennessee Titans, they have their best game against us, and I think this is going to be more of his coming out party and him solidifying himself as one of the best wide receivers in this league. It's going to be hard to stop that offense. and especially that defense. I want to. You got to help me out here. The cornerback for the Seahawks, Woolen. I think it's Woolen.
Tariq Woolen?
Yeah, Woolen. He's a free agent, guys. He's a free agent after this season. Watch him during this game and tell me you don't want him on the Tennessee Titans next year, because that's another person that you would want.
Who don't I want on the Titans?
A very tall, lanky quarterback who's very aggressive and and can get it done and set the tone on the edge, where we thought we had it with Brownlee Jr. and we thought we had it with Jerry Sneed and Roger McCurry, who's primarily now nickel. But I would look at him on Sunday. But for us, to win this football game on Sunday, it's slim to none. That's why we're 13.5-point dogs, because at home, needless to say, just because of the fact we can't run the football, and then our rookie wide receivers going against that secondary and defense, it's going to be tough for Cam Ward, I think, to get those guys open unless they do quick passes. But we haven't seen that all year. So
if they don't play Restrepo this week, I'm gonna be so fucking pissed off, because it's almost gonna feel personal if they decide not to dress him. Because
I'm looking right now, they're saying that it's likely he's gonna make his debut on week 12.
Yeah. Well, and they bet and you would assume if he does that he's gonna get some targets, because Cam's gonna be like, well, I got nothing else fucking going for me. So but knowing this organization, they'll purposely not put him in the game, because they must feel already so embarrassed by what the disgraceful product they put on the field every week. They better get some receivers. I mean, I don't even want to reiterate the things I've said, because I've said it so many times, but if they neglect the receiver position next year again, oh my God. Like, I want them to literally fucking get anybody that'll accept the contract they provide, they should sign. Like, I don't ever want to be in this position. Why can't they just bring in receivers? They never do it. And this Ridley thing is over. He's never playing for the Titans again. And it's just got to change, man. It's got to change. I'm tired of the no playmakers every fucking year.
No, I hear what you're saying on that. And like I said, you got Carnell Tate out there next year in the draft. We're not sticking with number one, in my opinion. I don't think so, because let everybody keep losing. Let Geno Smith look like shit still. Let Mendoza keep balling. More over there in Oregon. These quarterback hungry, needy teams. And we go down the board a little bit, and we get something like that at wide receiver. But another glaring need, like we said in this offseason, is edge. And it's tough to pass up on, what's his name?
Miami
Bain.
guy?
Yeah, Bain. Ruben Bain. So, I mean, they really are going to have to figure out all those positions. In my opinion, I think offensive line, too, because Cushenberry is another one that Jeffery Simmons called out, screaming at on the sidelines. But who knows?
We'll see. Just we're kicking the can down the street here every single fucking week. And
the good news is we have $140 million after cuts probably next year. It's gonna be it'll be good for us.
It's gonna be good for us. Yeah, it's been over a full calendar year since the Titans have won a home game. That's completely pathetic. That defies all logic. It surpasses so many historically bad records. It's just people need to start caring. There's not enough people that gear up for football on Sundays that really give a fuck whether they win or lose. And that is why in the toughest league in the fucking world to win in, you're seeing constant losses, because they're always the team that wants to win less. This is the NFL. I've said it a million times, Jarett. You're in the 1 percentile of athletes in the world.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to tell me that they cannot win a fucking football game fairly without fumbles into the end zone, dropped fucking touchdowns, all this bullshit, okay? They don't care enough. Obviously, Jeff Simmons does. You would assume Cam Ward does. You would assume a small handful more. But staff, players, they don't fucking care enough. And Jimmy, we're going to have to clip this. I want this to be seen by as many people as possible. There are not enough Titans, players, staff members receiving paychecks on a weekly basis that give a fuck about winning. So yes, Jeff, we can pull him out of the equation. Probably Cam, one of the hardest working guys on the team. The rest of you guys, I couldn't fucking tell whether you want to really win or not. So if you want to continuously be the butt of every single joke each week, fine. We'll get another top 3 pick, probably number 1 trade. I don't give a shit. But like, when is this organization going to decide that, we're going to really try to win a fucking game?
That and hold players accountable. That's where Jeffery Simmons is coming from. You got to be held accountable. And if these coaches ain't doing it, I don't know what to tell you. Like I said, these guys, they are coaching for their jobs, but clearly they ain't getting jobs here because the lack of motivation that this team has and the mental mistakes that this team is doing on Fridays, like we just talked about, on walkthroughs. Even Ben Jones said it on, I forgot whose show it was. Ben Jones was saying, Fridays are dress rehearsals. Whatever you do Friday is going to carry over the game. And what do you know? Everything that happened on Friday, which was a shit practice, like Jeffery Simmons said, carried right over to the game. I'm very curious what's going to happen this week in practice. I'm going to pay very close attention because we have a huge, probably one of the best NFC teams coming to Nashville and how they're preparing for this game. So we'll see.
We'll see. And listen, there's a lot of, you guys know I'm a call it like it is guy. I don't fucking care what people think I have to say. I speak my mind. There's a lot of glazing going on about Chad Brinker and Mike Borgonzi. And yes, as it looks now, it looks like Mike Borgonzi, his first draft was pretty freaking good. Okay. But there's not going to be a big leash for this team next year because this is not how this year was supposed to go. And there needs to be some accountability about they were still together in this for the entire offseason last year. And they put together a historically bad staff and roster. I don't care how much of it was from a previous regime. Okay, you should have seen the writing on the wall of how fucking putrid this was going to be. And you didn't, and that's okay. But to wave the white flag as early as you did and to be content providing this product to your fan base each week as early as you did, it better pay dividends. It better pay dividends because I'm not going to accept a fucking parade for a 5-win season next year. Okay? Because we just went through 3 full years of non-competitive, meaningless football for the Titans. After the 4th week of the year, the season's over for the last 3 seasons. We're expected to be okay with another year of question marks.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous. But looks like we're going to have to be, unless this really is going to be a 9 to 11 win team next year, which you'd have to be a fucking moron to think that's going to happen.
I'm not believing that again.
Not this time. No way. Not going to be us. Make sure you believe it. But, I guess we have that to look forward to because the pain should be less if we go into it more level-headed and with lower expectations. Probably won't, but we'll see. Either way, again, appreciate everybody joining in today. We'll keep you up to date with all things Titans throughout the week, as always. And we'll definitely be with you after the game coming up this weekend. Anything else you want to add, Jay, before we close shop today?
No, I'm good. Just look out for the 6 stack. We're climbing to $1,000. I'll probably post that Thursday, depending on how I like the game on Thursday night. But look for it on Friday. Absolutely, we're gonna keep stacking them and stacking them and stacking them, just like those losses. But hope everyone has a great rest of their night. We'll catch you on the flip, and as always, tighten up. Jimmy, send us out.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Talking Titans on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.